My name is Aaron, and I grew up in the world of metal. In fact, it's the only thing I ever really cared about in terms of music. But you know what, recently, I've wanted something a little bit different. Well, welcome back everybody. Today we are starting off with Your Eyes Tell. This has been probably the most vastly requested thing to do as of right now. And me being a man of my word, I wanted to oblige, and I found this on Enjoy BTS More, and this is actually, according to their comment sources, the first live video that has correct translations, so that's pretty cool. Second off, too, Enjoy BTS More. I very much enjoy your content, and you are amazing. With that being said, let's check it out, shall we? See, there's a okay. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I need just a moment to think here. Okay, very good. Actually, you know what? I am going to put myself back up in the corner because there's some things I want to talk about. First and foremost, awesome song, written in A minor, really good. And I think one thing that I really like about the song is actually the emotion that you feel. And there's actually one specific spot that again comes that you can kind of just tell that it just uses a little bit of extra power to hit the note and in a very emotional sense. So right here, this is the part that I think is really interesting. There's a couple things that maybe needs just a tad bit of explaining before I continue on. When it comes to singing, there's two things that's really weird. One, you use your diaphragm to sing. I'm just going to explain this as if you don't know. So if you already know this, you probably already know this. And the thing that's also really weird is that a lot of times the more relaxed you are, the more you are able to sing higher. You have to be able to lift your palate upward to be able to do that. A lot of times that requires you from having a very open mouth and being relaxed and making sure that, you know, your vocal cords are prepared. Anyway, but this right here, there is something called belting, which obviously is kind of where you're putting a little bit more of your power. And actually, this is one thing that a lot of people don't, I think about, is that your core, so in other words, like how well you work out your diaphragm in your stomach area is going to be able to affect your singing. And you can actually see in this exact moment when he pushes to give that little bit of extra emotion and effort into it. And I absolutely love that because it's just that extra piece of passion, right? Did y'all catch that? You'll actually see a physical shift in his body right as soon as he hits that higher note to push that out. Right there. That is giving just a little extra squeeze to get that out. So if you kind of watch, again, I'm going to use this part because it's just such a good instructional moment. Look how relaxed he is until he gets to that spot, and you can just see that quick tenseness to come up. And it's a little bit unfortunate because the fact of the matter is like singing higher does require you to kind of be a little bit more precise with your vocals. And I kind of want to say that, like, if you ever listen, there's people that will talk about how like they'll be able to sing high, but it gets a little screechy. This is not that by any stretch of the imagination. This is actual control. But it is, if you notice, there is a belting quality to it because he has to put a little bit more power into it. And because of that, you can actually kind of hear him almost peak the microphone, almost, not very, but it's just, this is a really good teaching lesson right here, I think. Relaxed, not relaxed. Right there. Now, if you've ever heard anything like this live, it's actually extremely potent. Like, for example, when I went to go see Aerosmith back in Las Vegas last year, they started off with the song "I'm Back in the Saddle." And when he hits that spot at the very beginning, I was a little worried because he was starting to get a little bit older. I don't know if he was going to be able to hit it. And he hit that "I'm back" moment, and it was so loud that we literally could not hear anybody else in the band. That includes like the drums, that includes the guitar, nothing. We could barely even hear the crowd over that loud, like how high and how powerful he delivered that note. And I guarantee you that was probably a very similar feeling right here if you were in the audience. So now that we got all that, let's check it out one last time. So I just love that. That, like I said, that's just a really good teaching moment for kind of a lot of vocal prowess right there. Second off, the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit of the lyrics, right? It's a ballad. It's written in A minor, but a lot of it is written from a hopeful standpoint. And actually, I want to talk about a little bit about the lyrics right here, because this kind of goes to show you that they don't use a lot of the same lyrics that a lot of people use. How often do you ever use anybody using monochromatic stuff to be able to describe a world? Like, usually they'll say black and white, but to actually break out the word monochrome, that's really cool. So let's go over a little bit of the lyrics. So this is the lead up to monochrome. A future without you would be without color. And, and I've actually heard a lot of people use this moniker to be able to describe colorless things. Not so much in music, but this is an interesting lead up to and then call back to. Did you catch the tense and the tensing up part to be able to hit that note from him right there as well? It's there. Relaxed. And I think that's actually a really interesting line. I'm looking straight ahead, only at you. I don't know. I think that's something that I do a lot too. Like, whenever I'm in a relationship, very particularly, I get blinders on, and I physically can't even check out other people. Like, that is something that I never do. Seems similar. I really like this right here. Whatever might await us from now on, I'm looking far ahead at what lies beyond. This place you have given me, even now, remains my heart's pillar of support. Now, it's kind of interesting because it kind of seems like it's a bit of a breakup song, but it's almost like, almost as if they're in the throes of like going into that argument of we're about to break up. Sometimes the past catches up to all of us, and sometimes we can't escape it. Most of the time, actually. This is very this is a very telling moment right here. I'll walk the path into tomorrow with you. And I like that kind of visual because to me, like, I never think about, like, walking in, like, terms of visual writing, the idea of, like, walking into tomorrow. It's a very hopeful way to describe your future because that clearly means that you're able to walk and that you're forthright and that you are able to walk in with strength. This might be the beginning of the end, kind of like I was saying a little bit earlier. I hate to keep pausing it, but this is a little bit more of a another technical part of singing is that a lot of times like you can actually make your own vibrato. It doesn't always have to just be like something naturally. But the thing that is actually really interesting is being able to insert it when it's necessary. And right here, it's hard to put a vibrato as you rise up to the lyric that you're hitting. And so you can actually hear him almost do these pinpoint placements of his vibrato, like here and then there and then here and then there. And this is a really cool moment of how to place it. Right there. Just like these small little precise little tee 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 tee. Very good. One thing that I really like about this particular part, and I think in most of his rap lines, honestly, is just the fact that he a lot of times seems like the reality, right? A lot of times the other members will be singing something a little bit more lofty, and then he's the one who comes in and is like, I just keep having a hard time sleeping at night thinking about this. I have these thoughts, I have these feelings, they keep coming, and I just don't know how to handle it. It's like he's got this just like logical, how we look outside of things that when you're not like, oh, I'm in love and everything is good. He's kind of got that logical base. And that right there is such beautiful harmony. Listen to the lows. They're not overpowering. They're letting the person who is in the main part right there carry their voice forward to be able to get that like just nice tone. Harmony right there between the two is so crucial to the color and texture of the song. The working together, kind of like offbeat from each other, but still just gives you this feeling of just like climbing down the scale is so cool. And I think the thing that's really cool is when you write in a certain key, there's kind of like this like home feeling when you get back to like where it starts. And I think that there's something that's just to be said about that particular, because after all this, they just land the plane ever so softly to end it off, give you that nice bow. Very good. Let me know what y'all think about this song. I would say in terms of harmony, this is an amazing song, especially in harmony. I like the lyrics, a little more forthright than some of the other ones, which I actually appreciate. Sometimes it's like when you have to look there and you're like, okay, I'm deciphering of what they have to say. But this is actually a lot more straightforward, which I can appreciate from time to time because sometimes my brain gets sleepy. Anyway, awesome song though. I actually do think that this, technically speaking, is actually just as impressive as the last song that we reacted to. Uh, Film Out. Like I said, there's some things my brains can't remember, and most of the times it has anything to do with names and titles. Film Out it has a very similar vibe to that. I guess this is also a Japanese song, also for a TV show, and if that's the case, I think that a lot of people could really take a note or two for these awesome intro songs into TV shows. Goodness, like this is way better than like anything that you hear here. Like we are lacking in cool intro songs. Anyway, I've gotten pretty lengthy and stuff like that, so I'm gonna let you all go and let me know what you all think about the song. This song is pretty sweet. This is definitely a highlight for the vocal line. Bye.